Now, if you're anything like me, you live by your morning routines. Here I am on my way to get eggs on toast and a black coffee at my gym before going for a swim or doing some light cardio on the bike with an audiobook. I love doing this in the morning. Now, if you're wondering, I'm currently listening to the epic sci-fi thriller Leviathan Wakes. Here I am looking through all the notes an AI has prepared for me overnight. A daily note with an agenda for the day based on what journals I wrote the previous day, a triage of all the big stories in AI and tech, and a discovery page of the top performing YouTube videos from the last 24 hours. Now, all of this is running on Claude Code Routines. It has literally transformed my entire morning. It can help transform your entire job as well, so your time is not spent on admin and repetitive work. And today I'm going to show you exactly how you can use it in your business, so stay tuned to the end where I walk you through how you can set this up. So Claude Code, if you haven't used it, puts tasks on repeat at a set time. It can read files, write code, browse the web, and it can talk to your apps through API. It's like having a developer on call 24/7. So you could tell Claude every morning at 9 a.m, just do this list of tasks. And then, guess what? It just does them. Now that's a routine. It is what's known as a cron job. That is a script that runs either locally on your computer or in the cloud on a server. But instead of a rigid script that breaks the moment you change anything, what you've got is an AI layer just above it. So it makes judgment calls and it handles those edge cases. All you've got to do is write a plain English prompt and then set a schedule, and Claude can run that in the cloud completely unattended. There's no server, there's no code, and there's no babysitting. Now, we need to point out here that there are two types of routines. At the time of recording this, Claude Cowork, the version of Claude I told you to use if you're just getting started, that only allows you to run routines on your local system. Now, this means your machine must be on and Claude must be running for them to work. Claude Code, on the other hand, lets you set up routines either on your local system or on their servers. What that means is that they can run without your machine being on. That's a huge game changer, and it's well worth taking the plunge here. Is that every morning my Obsidian daily note gets created automatically, and what that does is it pulls my calendar. It will pull all of the sources of reading from wherever I read it. So often that is the Decoder, a leading AI news site, or it's something like TechCrunch, or it might be a paper from archive.org. And it structures it all in a note that I can actually work from. Now, before I built this, what I'd do is I just end up spending 15 minutes every morning just setting up, opening the tabs, copying different highlights, checking what's on the calendar, and now it's all there. And this is the part that I really want office workers to hear, because this isn't a developer tool anymore. And if you spend your mornings copying data between different apps, formatting the same report, or you're updating the same tracker, what is the prompt is in plain English. You don't need to know how to code. You just have to describe the task the way you describe it to a new hire on their first day. So then, how do you set this up? Well, first of all, you're going to want to make sure that all of your tools are connected to Claude through connectors. Then you want to set up a routine. So you want to go into Claude Code and you'll see a drop down for routines. You want to click that and then you want to start a new one. You want to start by asking Claude Code in a separate chat window exactly what you want to automate. If you don't know what you want to automate, then you need to write it out first. What are all the steps that you go through every morning? Remember, Claude Code is so advanced it can now do some quite advanced workflows, even ones that have 5 or 6 different steps in it, but we'll come to that later. Ask Claude to write you the prompt, and it might actually include a script in there for you as well. And then you want to dump that into the instructions, and then you want to set a time. When do you want this to run? Do you want it to be running every hour, every day, every other day, or every week, or maybe you only want it to run once a month? The next thing you need to work out is whether you want this to run on your local system or in the cloud. I do recommend running these in the cloud. As I said earlier, this means that it runs completely autonomously. If you're running this in the cloud, you might end up having your API keys exposed in the prompt, and that can be really detrimental. Your API keys, remember, are like the passwords of your different apps. So if you're working at an office, you have to be really careful about that. So the solution is to press this little cloud button. Once you press that button, you can set up an environment variable. There is a placeholder. It says something like API keys in capital letters. You put your actual API keys in the secure store, and at the last minute, when the prompt is executing, that API key is removed and your API key is put in its place. So your API key is never in the prompt if someone actually hacks you or someone hacks into Claude's servers. This is security 101, but it is something that non-developers, of course, aren't aware of. And it's a really great feature from Claude who are thinking about security. You also want to test this thing first as well. Run it manually and see what happens. Does it ask you for any extra permissions? You want to press always allow so that they run without you next time you want to run it, and you want to see if there are any errors with it, and you want to fix those. You can have 15 of these every single day. I hope you found that helpful, and remember, if you want help with AI at work, or you can't be bothered to do all of this and you actually want me to just set it up for you, my Instagram and my LinkedIn are in the description, and you can hire me to coach you or to implement this yourself to make your work life a lot easier. Remember, those that learn AI now and skill up are going to have a massive advantage in the jobs market.